I would love if we could start by you sharing your name, where you work, and the biggest win you've led for your business with AI in the last year.
Sure. It's great to be here. I'm Ashley Travis. I lead growth marketing at Pizza Hut. And I would say the biggest win for AI for us over the past year has been embedding it into our CRM to drive greater personalization to reach our customers. So we're still in the early stages of that, learning as we go, but we really have a lot of potential and a lot of upside in what we're seeing so far.
What are you most excited about creating from that personalization?
Just greater relevancy. I mean, we reach so many people on a weekly, monthly, annual basis, and everyone is so diverse because everyone eats pizza.
Yeah.
And so to be relevant to that many people, we've tried personalization in the past, and it took hundreds of people manually creating different pieces of creative, manually uploading different segments, and it just wasn't worth the ROI. Now with AI, we're able to do that in seconds, and really it just means making sure that we're talking to people about what they care about, the products, the ingredients, the toppings, the activations that we're doing that are really relevant to them. And that's what I'm most excited about.
That's amazing. So let's start with those people and start with your consumer. So I think we often talk about AI as a new set of tools, but I think one of the things that's been most interesting from our point of view is thinking about how AI is really driving changes in user behavior. And so in your business for Pizza Hut, where have you seen the most meaningful shifts in how consumers discover and engage with your brand?
Yeah, I mean, it has shifted quite dramatically. I remember earlier this year when all of a sudden our search results just fell off a cliff, and we were looking at our media results. We're like, what happened? Did we change our search strategy? What? And calling the agency, looking at our website, and it was customer behavior just shifted so dramatically. We instantly saw it in our results.
Wow.
Because of the use of AI and generative AI replacing search. And so now we have to completely rethink the way in which we get in front of customers.
Wow.
We have to look at, okay, what is feeding these different AI engines? And how do we partner with companies that we haven't partnered with in the past? Very strategically, but they are a top feeder into ChatGPT. So we're like, oh, well, now we have to play in this space because that's where people are getting their information. So it's requiring us to learn and adapt extremely quickly. And I think the other area that we're finding is that customers have an attention span. We thought their attention span was low with the proliferation of social media. Now it's even lower. And if we don't get them exactly what they're looking for right away, and we don't make it extremely easy for them to find what they're looking for, you lose them. Especially in a category like ours that is extremely competitive and becoming more and more commoditized.
So I love that you're talking about this because at Moloco, we've been doing a lot of research into how brand discovery is changing. And one of the things that's been so interesting from the research is it all really points to the idea that the customer relationship is the most durable asset that you can have. And I know that this is something you're really passionate about in your work at Pizza Hut. And so I'm curious, in this world of new normal, very different discovery patterns, how do you think about your mobile app as a strategy in your overall engagement with your customers?
Yeah, I mean, we've been on quite a journey over the past few years and undertaking a major tech transformation when it comes to our mobile app and our infrastructure, because the role it plays is one of trust. If people are trusting you to be on their device, which is something that's very personal to them, and to use their precious storage to have your information, and even more so, opt into push notifications, which is very invasive, then you have to uphold that trust. And so there's trust in terms of just making sure it's working properly, which can be harder than you would think. There's trust in making sure that they can find exactly what they're looking for. If you're sending them a push notification about something and they don't click on it, because zero-click behavior is becoming a huge challenge, they need to be able to find that push notification that they saw earlier today. And then being able to actually find what's relevant to them and shop as quickly as possible. So it's a lot that you have to achieve through the mobile app to really build and maintain that trust that customers are giving you by having you in their personal space.
Yeah. What's been the most surprising thing you've learned from going through that tech journey?
I think how hard it is. I think the biggest surprise for me is all of the different MarTech that we have serves a purpose.
Yep.
But now even more so, as we start to use AI to drive more personalized experiences, it becomes really paramount that all of that MarTech speaks to one another and talks to one another. Because if you are sending a personalized message or offer via email or push notification, but they can't find it in their app, or they can't find it on the website when they're ready and in the moment to shop, then you have a challenge. So ensuring that your customer data is all speaking the same language to every single piece of MarTech, and you're creating a connected ecosystem becomes extremely, extremely important. And that isn't easy.
Yeah. I mean, it strikes me like what must be so amazing about Pizza Hut is I'm guessing you have a set of folks who are like super loyal. Like they're probably the people who have the app, who are, they know that every Friday night they're coming to Pizza Hut. And you probably have a set of folks who are more like spur of the moment, like it's pizza night, let's order in.
Yeah.
How do you think about personalizing for those different types of customer profiles?
Yeah, I mean, the loyal customers become easier in a way because we have more data on them. And so as long as they're digital customers, I think the challenge for us is a lot of our loyal customers are actually dine-in customers. And so that is something that we're looking at right now as we evolve our loyalty program, as we evolve our digital space, and we have a roadmap for that. Okay, how does that get into the restaurants? And how do we enable our team members in the restaurants to create personalized experiences for our loyal customers?
Wow.
So, that's still in the works, but it becomes really important. For new customers that we don't have data on them, it becomes much harder. And that's where AI can really play a role, because you can do lookalike modeling. You can, the technology can at least give you approximation of based on kind of where they came from or what time of day or what day of week. Customers who tend to behave this way are most likely looking for this. And so it creates opportunity. And then because the machine learning learns so quickly and adapts so quickly, if it doesn't work, it shifts right away. So that really is opening up opportunities for us to create personalized journeys. We're doing that with our onboarding journey right now. We are still scaling it up. I think it's about 50% right now. But those are customers we don't have a lot of data on.
Yeah.
So how do we personalize their onboarding into Pizza Hut when they first download the app, when they first sign up for marketing communication? And so there's a lot we're learning through that we can then take to other channels where we reach new customers.
I love that. One of the things that I have found so interesting is how many people are really pointing AI at a set of use cases that's about how do I delight the customers that I know really well, but then also how do I use this to learn faster about the new customers I'm trying to engage with. And so I think that's just so smart and strategic. To execute everything you're talking about, and you're the person who's really driving a lot of this, you were saying it's a lot harder than maybe you thought at the beginning. So how are you thinking about the sort of operational and organizational shifts that you need to make as a business to do these things and do them well?
Yeah, we've made a lot of changes.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, we work for a company that prioritizes this. So Yum has made, AI a strategic priority. So investing in all of us on the executive leadership level have gone through training on AI with professors. We had homework. We got together, we took classes together because Yum prioritized this and said, this is the future. This is going to change our industry and we need to learn this. And so it really starts from the top down. And so I think just at a level of importance and prioritization that is paramount. And also being part of an organization like Yum, we're able to learn from the other brands. So we have a center of excellence where we get together regularly across brand. And as we're trialing different use cases of the technology in different areas of the business, we're sharing those learnings with one another so that we can move faster. It's like, oh, I'm optimizing the algorithm based on net revenue. Well, Taco Bell's like, we're optimizing based on transactions. Well, what is the upside? What is the downside? And having that dialogue and conversations allows us to learn and adapt much more quickly than if we were just doing it on our own. I think within the brand, I've had to restructure the team we used to have our CRM and loyalty team, and kind of MarTech and CRM developers were part of that team. But as we move into this new space, I've had to split that out and create a MarTech centered team of MarTech product owners, operators. How do you start to put not just QA in process, but an operational programs in place that are looking at all of our MarTech, making sure it's all speaking to one another, working with software engineers and data engineers to create those connected systems. So we're still building out that team, but I've got an amazing leader that's kind of taken the helm. And so, there's still other changes that we need to make. Channel management, channel marketing, and how we start to think of our different channels as micro businesses. So we stood up that team this year as well, and still building that out and defining the role of that team. So it's been a lot of change, but we're starting to see it in the results, which is great.
Wow. So of all those experiments that the teams are driving, like what's one, micro win, something really small that taught you something bigger about the sort of full capabilities that AI can bring to you?
Yeah, I think there's micro wins just in the results of personalization, but switching gears to a micro win of using a different type of AI. And that is, last year at March Madness, we launched a chatbot in partnership with Meta named Huddy. And he was like a real life mascot that was also virtual. And you could chat with him about March Madness because we're official sponsors of March Madness. And you could ask Huddy, who do you think is going to win the game tonight? What do you think the score is going to be? I don't know anything about the Missouri Tigers. Like, can you tell me more about that? But then you could ask non-basketball related. And he would just have conversations with you. And he would drop you offers. And the customers spent on average 10 minutes per session just chatting with Huddy. And while it was small in terms of impact, like the number of people that engaged, because it wasn't easy. You had to do it through Instagram Messenger. Seeing that level of engagement and hearing the stories back from customers of how much fun it was, stories about Huddy gave me such great advice, and we're like, what advice did he give you? We didn't trade it to give advice. But, it was just the way in which we can take that learning is there's something there that there's technology out there that we can use to just engage and delight and have fun with customers because we're a fun brand and pizza's a fun product. And so looking at it just results driven, but also from an engagement standpoint is something I'm excited to pursue further.
Oh, I love that. So if that was 2025, we're gonna end with a Mad Libs moment.
Okay.
Which is that if it's 2026 and you're looking ahead to the future, in 2026, the brands that succeed with AI will be the ones who fill in the blank.
Employ people that use it in their personal lives as well as professional lives.
Wow.
I don't think a brand can succeed in AI by just having it on a small team. You need to have it embedded into your culture. And to do that, you need to allow your teams to use it in their personal lives so that they can really start to understand how the technology works. That's when those sparks of ideas are going to fly of like, oh, this just helped me create my grocery list. Could it help me do my packing list too? Could it help me, could I order through it? Like what if we created that? So when people start to use it in their daily and their personal lives, that's when the really big ideas for how they can use it in their professional lives start to come up to life. So I think brands that kind of open those floodgates and allow people to really lean in and provide them the resources to do that are going to win.
What I'm taking away from what you just said is that this type of innovation, it goes beyond tools. It's really a mindset.
It's an enablement.
Yeah.
And it is a mindset and it's an enablement. And I think when we start to think about it that way, it really unlocks the possibilities.